Welcome to the sixth episode of Issues 101. I'm Allison, a current intern at Issue Voter. Throughout this series, we are sharing 3-minute, nonpartisan, accessible explanations of how Congress shapes issues that matter to you. Today we are covering the tax on tips debate, the long-standing bipartisan discourse on taxing tipped income. The federal income tax was formally established when the 16th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified in 1913, granting Congress the ability to impose taxes. Because tips were not explicitly mentioned in the original law, many people initially viewed them as non-taxable income. The modern discussion around tip taxation came to prominence in 1982 with the passage of the Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, which first established requirements for tip reporting enforcement. Among the provisions of the bill was a requirement that all large restaurant owners and managers report employee tips to improve transparency and ensure that taxes more accurately reflected total income earned. The debate over tip taxation continued on throughout the 2000s and became a topic in presidential elections. In 2024, both major ticket candidates for president, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, voiced support for exempting tips from federal income tax. The bipartisan interest in eliminating tip taxation highlights the issue's cross-party appeal. Introduced on January 16, 2025, the No Tax on Tips Act aims to exempt qualifying tip income from federal income tax. The bill allows for a deduction for up to $25,000 annually and would increase take-home wages for service industry employees. Skeptics warned the downsides if tips become exempt from income tax, including reduced federal revenues for social welfare programs like Social Security and Medicare, and a decline in federal tax revenue leading to a larger deficit and skewing compensation structures and labor markets. According to the Budget Lab at Yale, 37% of tipped workers earn so little that they pay no federal income tax, which means that many of these workers would receive no benefit from the proposed deduction. Similar trends often apply with state income taxes. Some economists warn that focusing on tax-free tips could undermine broader efforts to raise both the tipped and untipped minimum wages. Challenges such as low base pay and reliance on tips go beyond tax issues, raising the question of whether certain legislative changes would meaningfully benefit both workers and the economy. The bipartisan nature of this debate makes tip taxation a particularly convoluted topic of policy, making staying informed and updated even more important. Thank you for joining us for the sixth episode of Issues 101. Follow Issue Voter to get alerted about future episodes. For further reading, check out our article at blog.issuevoter.org, The Tax on Tips Debate. Issue Voter is a nonpartisan nonprofit. Sign up at issuevoter.org to stay up to date with new legislation and send your opinion directly to your members of Congress.